poems.
I'm sorry.
I loved your poems or what you put on your website,
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank
especially
you.
the camp.
The camera one, yeah. There's actually a request to further expand on that one. It's kind of funny because I was talking to an apparent character that was more into the Christian mythology, so to speak, awareness and all that kind of stuff. And it seemed very, very similar. So we had this long discussion about paradise. And so what's being suggested here is that um, although everything is a story and there's nothing that really has any meaning, what's being expressed here is the word paradise. Obviously, the word suggests of a destination, a conclusion, and it's made up. There's no location. Seemingly, there's this rich mythology of a devastating separation, or from the biblical sense of it, is the original sin. But seemingly, there's an attractive carrot for seekers. It's like the ultimate carrot for seekers is to undo that separation, to seemingly create this wholeness, to create this enlightenment that nothing was sinful. So I'm just going to mute here. Just a second. There's just a couple. Sorry about that. There we go. um, so I can't remember what I was being spoken about. Speak. Yeah. So there is no loss of innocence because there's no separation. So what if what is being suggested is this seemingly idea of separation, and seemingly there's a missing of this unhidden paradise, like a correction of some error that happened, but there's no error. There's no such thing as an error. This is just perfection, but not for anyone, but just perfection as it is. So paradise is not a location or a destination or a path or a anything at all. There is no such thing as paradise as an idea. There's no way of framing paradise because it just becomes a thought. So there's this apparent trying to picture what paradise is. So what this is the eternal darkness, but just also the infinite light. So good or bad are equally the same. It can be argued that the Old Testament God or the idea of God is completely different from what is being talked about here because there's no such thing as separation. There's no such thing as an idea. And all of these words are just made up. All of these words just evokes this emotion that there's something missing, that there's something that was lost. So what's being suggested here is that, surprise, this is paradise. So when there's trying to picture what paradise is, the camera instantly drops and shatters. Sorry, I have a voice thing right now. I'm losing my voice. And shatters that bright flash illuminates that unspeakable obviousness that there is no you. There's no you. There's a camera, which you think that is you. There's also no one behind that camera. And there's no camera. There's no projector. There's no one projecting. There's no lens of separation. There's no supreme visionary. There's no ultimate director. There's no thing as anything at all. This is already perfectly as it is. So seemingly there's this trying to capture what this paradise is, but no one can frame freedom because there's no one in freedom. What's being suggested also that there's no such thing as paradise, if you can think of it. But to go the opposite way, although there's no opposite way, there's no one in paradise. It's paradise since it's already empty and no one can kick you out. There's no authority. There's no one watching you. There's no one recording your life. So this paradise, which is an idea, is a movie that is basically a vision, a perception of separation. It's like the ultimate 3D IMAX ultra reality me vision with felt sense of separation and fake time as an invisible layer. So what is being expressed here is that this movie being projected on paradise, but the projector is looking on the moving pictures to find paradise. But the problem is that there's no projector and there's no one projecting. The projecting or the projector is looking at a particular scene, hoping that the movie will stop. So there'll be a divine grace or a divine director that will seemingly stop this idea of separation. Let's go a little bit further. There's also no blank screen or moving images because there's no projector in the first place. There's also no divine commentator and there's no silent director. Those are just moving images from the projector. So this idea, which is usually used, the projector, the blank screen, are just ideas of what seems to be lost. There's no movie playing. There's no sound effects that's happening. There's no inner critic. There's no one watching. There's no one being watched. So paradise is already paradise. It's the peace that is undeniable. It's the freedom, this freedom that cannot be pictured. You can't picture this. Paradise was never stolen. There's no gatekeeper in paradise. It was never lost. Paradise can never be cast out of paradise. Paradise cannot deny paradise, even how hard you try. There's no you can try, or there's no you that's not trying. So the idea that you left, you were kicked out of paradise and can never come back in. But what if that thought is hidden? It's a hidden paradise. Sorry, I can't answer the question yet. I'll continue with this. So this is paradise already, but there's no one in paradise. Nothing is paradise. Nothing is missing. There's nothing wrong in paradise. There's also nothing right in paradise. It's just an elaborate story. It's all innocent already. It's all a sham. So paradise was never stolen. It was never lost. And there's nothing that is missing. So paradise, welcome to paradise. If you have any question about paradise, we'll speak in paradise speak. And again, apologies for my voice. I was talking too much apparently. And I've been trying to do all of the one-on-ones that I can't do next week. So I've just been speaking for about 10 hours a day. So if you have any questions, please go ahead. And this is just basically this, there's excitement expressing and framing paradise, because I think I have written maybe about 20 pages about this. And I'm just trying to come up with, trying to condense it, but I'll try to do it in a longer format. If you have any questions, please go ahead. And cheers. The chat is now open. There's a couple of questions here. Oh, there's Betty, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, yeah. I was looking for the hand.
That's okay.
I was going to tell you, first of all, the black and white photos are really nice.
Oh, thank you.
Compliments to Kelsey. They're beautiful.
Yes,
I
Kelsey.
love them.
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful. Whatever. No. So one of the comedians, I forget who, I think it's Jim. Yeah, I forget. He's like, she could never get me to get out of paradise with an apple. It'd have to be like a cinnamon roll.
Cinnamon buns.
Cinnamon buns. Yeah. Anyway, that's just my joke of the day.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. there was this idea before, you know, in this apparent story, that there was this, there's something that was this kind of like this imaginary guilt of something that was done wrong. And the root of all of this suffering is because of the rejection of what seemed to be paradise, the rejection of innocence, the rejection of what is. And what's being expressed here is that there is no one rejecting any of that. There's an idea, there's a thought of a rejection of something that cannot be rejected, this wholeness. And again, these words, don't get caught up in it. Words are just basically imaginary appearances, and try to dissolve this illusion that there's something missing. The word seems to contradict and create this story, create this narrative of something that is already whole and complete. And what's being meant by that is that there's already nothing lacking. So this talk is about just unframing. It's deconstructing any ideas about paradise, any ideas about a future attainment of something that's being missed, or any idea at all. Because what's really clear and obvious is without any ideas, without any thoughts, this is already it. You can call it paradise, you can call it home, or you can call it nothing at all. There's nothing that is going to be missed by thinking of something that contradicts what is. So what is this undeniable, without an opposite, simply not two. And that's the peace. The peace that's being expressed here is not caught up in a frame, cannot be captured in a picture, cannot be talked about even, because it's already obvious. It's already what is. And to answer the question is, can you talk about heaven? It's the same idea again, right? There is seemingly in the story of seeking, there seems to be a gatekeeper or a higher supreme being or a separation of some sort, and there's an atonement or a revelation, something that needs to happen, something that needs to occur, something that needs to be corrected, when what's being expressed is that there's nothing that has ever happened. Everything is already perfectly as it is. And there's this running narrative of a movie. You have to be the blank screen, you have to be the witness, you have to be aware, you have to do this, you have to correct this, you have to do that. But that's all a story. Simply, there's no two. Simply, there's no paradise, or you can say that it's already paradise. Simultaneously, both are just statements that try to obscure something that is already clear and obvious, that this wholeness, this blindness, this completeness, this wowness that can't be talked about is already, and it cannot be denied. I like your voice. It's a bit deeper and sexy. So, of course,
Hi,
I'm drinking
Emerson.
iced
Oh,
water.
God.
Oh, hi, Natalie.
Hi.
Hi.
You know, oh gosh, this is I missed the intro, but that's okay. You remember doing intentions, like you have to set your day up and do a sankalpa, an intention to
Oh, yeah.
as if the intention were going to change the way the day unfolded. I mean, yeah, it is what it is. We did it. No one did it, but I just think that kind of tied in a little bit with, the whole idea that it could be changed or different than what it is by, a voice in the sky saying, please, my intention is this. I will treat all kindly, and then if that failed to happen because maybe, someone cut me off in traffic and I was like, whatever, it would be like, oh my God, my intentions, I've got to do something. Maybe I should go home and meditate. Maybe I should do a bunch of sets on the mala bead. I don't know. I like hearing you talk about stuff. So that seems fun.
Thank you. Yeah, it's so funny, right? Because when there is something that is wrong, that there has to be a cause and effect. For example, the reason that I am not awakened or enlightened, or there's still a me here, is because there's something that I need to do. There's an intention. There is this original separation that needs to be transcended, when there's really nothing that needs to be transcended, that there's something, an intention or a, and again, it all goes back into that narrative of that, someone bit the apple, and it's just basically, it's just blame and shame, right? It's Eve's fault. But really the fault is this idea that there's a separate higher being that kicked out what is. And that separate higher being, that separate power, that supreme thing is continued with again, this is this is not going to be taken lightly. It's basically has evolved, or can like been used now as, the absolute truth, the absolute awareness, pure consciousness, the higher self, right? That's the seeming, kind of like, that's a seeming gatekeeper of what is already free. So what's being suggested here is kind of like, it's like an uprising. It's like, what the fuck? It already is. It's already complete. There's nothing missing. There's nothing that needs to be corrected. There's no inner thoughts. There's no silencing of thoughts. It's just already what it is. The good, the bad, and the ugly is paradise. It is already what is. And yeah, I used to, it's we were talking about Whole Week last week, and there's this constant, self-flagellation of doing the 108 mala beads, doing the mantras in Catholic, pray 5 Hail Marys and 20 Our Fathers or something, that there's something wrong. But all of these wrongdoings, seeming wrongdoings, are just stories about, which is the same thing as getting casted out of paradise. So when paradise is unframed, meaning that when it gets deconstructed, it's just another idea, an idea of separation. When there's nothing that has been separated at all, it already is what it is. It's already perfectly, clearly, obviously, this already. So yeah. Thank you, Natalie. Oh, okay. Jane goes, is it possible to have meeting on Saturday or Friday night? There are 2 speakers on Sunday already. Maybe Saturday, yeah. Saturday, yeah. Maybe. Thank you, Jane. Thank you. But are there really any speakers on Sunday? Emerson, is this the same idea as home? Yes. Yes, it's just all ideas of, the idea of separation, the idea of wanting to attain something, seemingly roots from this idea that there's something that has been kicked out, or something that has been emancipated, something that has, something's wrong, but there's nothing wrong. It's just what is. So what is just this completeness. Whatever the seeming appearance is, it's already what is. Hi, Emerson, first time here. Hello. Apparently, I'm just listening today. I think I watched all of your videos. Oh, no. Taking walks and listening just for fun and kicks. Some time ago, there was this burnout going on. When the apparent no shift happened, there was free falling. I have started programming and drawing and being very direct and upfront, but there is no one doing it. No filter, no good or bad. Everything is just as it is exactly. There's always the thought that seemingly appears, although there's no one having a thought. Since there's no one having a thought, it's almost like a reenactment of that separation, of that there's something missing. The free falling is just what isness, just appearing everything as perfectly as it is, nothing to grasp. But when there's a thought that's grasped, or there's a thought that is seemingly tried to be higher or lower, or good or bad, then there's seeming understanding. And this seeming understanding is almost kind of like how do you say it mildly? It's a delusion. There's nothing there's nothing that's to be understood here. There's nothing that needs to be processed. There's nothing that needs to be compared. There's nothing that is actually needed. So when there's just this isness, seemingly appearing, seemingly just flowing, it's just what it is already. And what it is this. But thank you for sharing. I'm not really sure if I answered any of the question there. But if you would like to add more, please go ahead. But thank you for listening to all the videos. Apparently, of course. No question, just enjoyment. Why are you dressed up today? It's just what is. I like red. No, seriously, there was a work done earlier, so I just did not change and just appeared like this. Thank you. So Emerson, when it was seen, sorry, just a second. So when it was seen, did you see paradise? No. Okay. That's not what's being talked about here. It's not seeing paradise. It's just what is. It's not getting caught up on, words will come out. Words will come out like, oh wow, it's always been this way. There, or there's this, nothing has ever happened. Or what else? It's just this. So when it's seen, not by anyone, when there's just this, when the camera drops, so to speak, when they're trying to picture this seemingly and happen, when the camera drops, it's the framing or the understanding of what this is collapses. The photographer, what's being photographed, what's beyond and behind the lens, shatters. It's just this. So paradise is just a word that is seemingly kind of like a stuckness usually happens because when there's the speaking about this, lots of speakers will say that this is paradise. What's being expressed, in an expanded way is that there's always been this unhidden, unnameable paradise. This paradise that is not really an idea, it's not a location, it's not an understanding, it already is. So it unframes paradise. It deconstructs the idea of what paradise is. It's not like the Garden of Eden or none of this mythology that is usually, because the idea of paradise actually comes from a Greek word, and then somehow it became, it just goes into a rabbit hole again, that there was some separation that happened. So when what's being expressed here is paradise is that it's always been whole. Nothing has been separated. The idea of separation came when there was when there was a supreme or a God, that they basically kicked out because of a choice made. But since there's no one choosing, there's no choices happening. These are just narratives. They're just like they're like bedtime stories of separation. Or scary stories for kids. Emerson, sorry. Hi, Emerson. Can you talk about separation from your perspective? Separation is just a word. It's just a thought. So there's no one here that has any perspective because Emerson is just a thought. Separation is just a definition. It comes from a word basically with etymologies. But if you look up the word separation, it will just lead up to more words. There's no such thing as separation. If there are no words, there's no separation. If there's no thought, there's no separation. What is already what it is. There's never been any separation aside from the idea that there's separation. And there's no one that has any perspective here. And there's no one that has any question there. These are just words seemingly appearing out of nowhere, seemingly swirling in thisness. It's already obviously clear without any words, without any understanding, without any persistence that there's something missing. And the persistence or that lack that there's something missing is just what is appearing as whatever. And there's usually a labeling of words that there's separation here, there's you and me. But like in a dream at night, when all of this seemingly vivid separateness is seen through, that it was just a dream. So separation is just a dream. Separation is just dream speak or dream language that appears in this. Thank you. Oh, hi, Becca. Hello.
Hi,
Hello.
you hear me?
Yes, I can.
I don't really know how to put it into words, but do you know when you say it's all happening at once?
Yes.
Can you kind of go into that a little bit? When I mean like the past, the present, the future, memories, everything
Everything
is
all at once.
yeah, but
Yeah,
can you just that
Yeah, for sure,
just
for sure. It cannot be understood.
no, I
It cannot be
know.
comprehended because it's something that just basically blows your parent mind. It will just like if it's trying to see through. So what is being expressed there that there's only this. There's only
Yeah.
this infinite this. In this infinite this, there is the past, the present, the now simultaneously happening.
I resonate with that. But when you say
Yeah.
like the future, do you mean just the thoughts of the future? Because it's
Anything,
not
everything.
happened yet.
The future is just a thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then at some point something else will happen.
Well, it's a thought, right?
Do you know
It's-
what I'm trying to
yeah,
say?
yeah,
Like,
yes. Okay. So there's only this, right? In this apparent infinite now, although there's no now, it's just the
Yeah.
infinite. In this infiniteness, there's only this. All that there is this, and there's nothing outside of this. So there's this trance, let's call it a trance, that there's a future happening tomorrow. There's a next second, there's a next moment, or there was something that happened in the past.
Yeah.
But all of that things that everything I've just said, like, maybe in the past I'll grow old, or, I was really young when I was, started seeking that kind of thing. But it's only appearing in this apparent moment, isn't it?
And I completely resonate with
Yeah.
all of that. I do. It's like my kids went away for 5 days and it's like it's just gone. It's just the whole thing. I don't know if you know what I want to say.
Yeah.
But
So
it's
let's
not
just
like it was 5 days. It's just constantly just
yeah. So if time is an illusion, there's
Yeah.
no such thing as time, but there's a felt sense of reality, which is also an illusion.
yeah.
So if time is an illusion, so past, present, and future is
It's
just
the future bit that's
So if
niggling me.
it's the future bit, okay. All right.
It's not the
So
rest of it. It's
the future is also happening in this.
That's what
Yeah.
Can you go into that a little bit?
So
for
in
me?
the apparent future, there's already no one.
Yeah.
In the apparent future, there's no Rebecca, no Becca. Meaning that the past, the present, and the future, when it collides, it's just really nothing. They're just all ideas. So there's the beginning of Rebecca, and there's also the ending of Rebecca. So that's happening all at once, meaning that there's really no Rebecca, because the beginning and the ending are illusory.
You see that? I'm just
Yeah. You're trying to get it. You're trying to get it.
No,
There's
I'm not trying to get. It's like I resonate with the whole,
everything. Yeah,
But
all
then
at
when
once.
I sit here and think, next week my kids are going back to school.
Yeah,
blah,
but
blah,
that's just
blah.
appearing now, right? See, there's no
Yeah.
future because it's just being mentioned now. You can't fast forward to the future and really see your kids going to
But
school.
then that will happen.
In a thought
that's
right now, in a thought right now, in just in a
Oh,
thought, and
it's
just an
like,
idea right
that's the
now.
last little thing I'm grasping onto.
Well, there's no such thing as grasping it. You will never grasp it because it's just a thought. It's just an idea. So you will never witness yourself being born. You will never witness yourself dying or dead. So you were never born and you will never die. It's just this. So in this all at onceness, right? There's an idea of you being born. There's also an idea of you being dead. Both ideas are just thoughts.
Right.
So the future, the past, and the present are just thoughts. And then Becca, the thinker, is also a thought.
Yeah.
So the Becca will never grasp it because it's just a thought. So a thought trying to think of another thought will just result in more thoughts. So what is being expressed is that there's no thoughts in this. This is the infinite. I can see the wheels.
Like,
yeah.
that one little thing.
Yeah. It's not going to be figured out.
No,
You're trying to frame infinity. You're trying to take a snapshot so that you can say, aha. But it can't.
No. I don't know, since last week something's changed massively, but
yeah, I
can't stop thinking about the future.
The future. The
It's
future
like,
is now.
Yeah.
The future is this. This is the future already.
Because nothing's happening.
Yeah, nothing's happening. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all in this, right? So in this appearance, there's this show, appearing of like, Becca and Emerson talking and everything. But that never really happened.
It's because nothing happened then, nothing's happening now, so nothing's gonna happen.
Exactly. So there's just a thought. This is just all a thought that this is happening right now. So when you say, how do you know this is happening? You can say that, well, we're here talking to each other. That's just a thought.
Gone now. It's gone.
It's gone now.
Gone.
Yeah. So without any thoughts, for example, even though we're kind of like seemingly talking, you know what I'm saying, back and forth and everything, if there was an erasure, a deletion of all of words and meanings, what is this?
Nothing.
Yeah. Not even nothing. It's unknowable. So the thought, the thinker, the narrator, the creator creates, there's no outside creator, but the illusory creator, which is you, creates these ideas about the past, the future, and it seemingly misses this unhidden paradise.
Yeah, because I've been going through a stage of where I'm like, I don't want this. I'm unhappy. I want better. Yeah. And then I'm like, I can't have better because there's nothing I can do.
There's nothing you can do, yeah.
And then I'm like, well, it's all done anyway.
It's all done anyway, right? So a thought will come up, a thought will be saying that, oh, this is a horrible day. Let's just say that, right? And then all of a sudden, the thought, if it's not grasped, if it's not owned, if it's not, this is my thought, if it's not like, when it sees that it's just really, it's just this appearances,
Happening.
it's just a happening.
Yeah.
Or sometimes I just call it, let's just call it, it's just this.
Yeah, but did you ever find at the beginning, I know you say there's no beginning, but you're doing things and you're like, whoa, like, I didn't do, like, as though like you can start to recognize that, what was that? I don't know how to put it into words, but
Yeah, you can't because
things
it's,
are happening and
yeah,
it's something else is like
let's just put
behind.
it this
I
way.
don't know how to
So
say
there's
it.
this Becca, which is experiencing either a loss of time or, or some
I feel like I'm forgetting everything.
forgetting everything and everything because it's not
And
really
things
there.
are just happening.
Yeah.
But then something else is recognizing that things are happening and it's not me. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, at least there's a little bit of lightness
That makes
seemingly happening.
sense.
It does. Yeah, it does. It's like the seriousness of what was seemingly, there's no was, right? Of kind of like this heaviness before
It's just happening.
it's just happening. Yeah. It's just happening.
I don't give a shit.
Hooray. Yeah, it's just what
it's
is.
just happening.
It's just happening. It's just
But then
happening.
I don't know what's recognizing.
There's no one recognizes.
Like
The
you
one
say,
that's trying to,
it's like a resonance that it's just happening.
It's just happening.
I can't
Yeah.
say it's me that's resonating because I'm like, I can resonate. There's no me.
Yeah, it's
That
again,
makes sense.
there's
can't put it
this
in words,
thoughts,
but
and then there's always this absence, right? So the thoughts come in and out of this absence. So the thoughts try to figure out what this absence is, which is just another thought. There's no thoughts in absence. It's already
and
empty.
it's behind the thought.
Yes, yeah. So every thoughts are empty. Every
Yeah.
single thought is really transparently nothing. There's this.
That's why I'm trying to explain, like, things are happening, but then I can't say I'm realizing it because
No.
it's not that.
But what's wrong with that? It's just what's happening too. So that's just,
I'm just
that's what's
saying,
happening
like,
too. Yeah.
Trying to explain it. Like,
Yeah. It's neither an acceptance or a rejection because there's no one accepting it or rejecting it. It's just this.
ta-da.
Ta-da.
Yeah. That's fine. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Becca. And I have Katerina.
Hi. Sorry, my camera is not working today.
Oh, no worries.
I just wanted to ask, you seem to remember when you had a sense of self that was going on. What would you now advise well, how could you give any advice to your self, not to me, but
no worries.
you remember how it was.
The idea of Emerson is just a thought. So you cannot really give another thought about another thought. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. It's like trying to give advice to your dream that happened last night. Trying to go back into your kind of like your dream last week and say, hey dream, this is what I would advise you to do. It's just a thought, it's just a dream, it's just an idea. So the Emerson, and that was this solid, seeker, this apparent memory of this seeker that was longing for the freedom, looking for paradise, was just a dream character. There's this felt sense of reality, but there's also no reality.
So you wouldn't like say, okay, remember you're a dream character and don't take anything seriously, or
no, because the dream character would just believe that, and it will try to figure out the dream. So when you tell a dream character, say that you're just a dream character, then there's this seeming kind of like, it became real. You just basically made it into a real dream character. Since it's just a dream character, who cares?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
until this apparent falling happens on its own,
Yeah.
everything is very real here. And there are
Yeah.
real work problems and real money problems. So I'm trying to figure out how to get,
It's the same here.
how
It's the same here.
and
There's no one here, but it still has to work. It still has to it's the same thing. But the
but you're not
difference is
suffering. There is no sufferer there. Here,
okay. So
here,
I guess what you're trying to say is can I talk to you? If there was something that I can give you, if there's something that I can teach you, I would have said it already. So what's being expressed here is the only thing that I can say is that the only thing that can be illuminated is that whatever it is already, it is. It's already perfectly as it is. So problems happen, that's problem happening. Financial ruins happening, that's financial ruin happening. There's no one that can control, since it's not real, although it feels real. There's no one can control anything. So there's this freedom and liberation in seeing that everything is just happening on its own accord, and there's no one that's trying to control it or prevent it. There's just this this transparency, this autonomous happening is beyond control. So the ride might be bumpy, the ride might be smooth, but it's just a ride.
I agree. I completely agree. However, when there are issues and the sense of self is there, it's trying to solve them and trying to find out how energy works. And if the law of attraction works.
That's the suffering in itself, right? Because it tries to figure out, tries to solve things, tries to, it's like, I always use this example. It's kind of like being inside a self-automatic driving car and trying to figure out how to drive properly, trying to manipulate what's already automatically happening.
It is automatically happening, but the brain, the body mind is doing it, and the body mind is programmed to survive and to protect. So it changes on its own, right?
Okay, let's I've been hearing a lot about this body mind. I don't really understand it. It's just a word.
The character, what you call the character.
Yeah.
I call the body mind. That's the same thing. I mean, like, whatever is in the brain already, the programming, whatever genes we carry, all that.
So
that's what I mean. The
character, everything that seems to be
running on its own.
Sorry, go ahead.
Right?
Go ahead, Katrina.
Sorry, this character is running on its own, but it's running into a catastrophe,
Yeah.
So it's trying to self-preserve and understand how the whole energy thing works. I'm not saying I'm doing it. I'm saying the brain is doing it on its own.
But there's no brain. What brain?
Well, what do you mean, what brain?
What's a brain? Have you ever seen your brain?
You mean inside in the head?
Yeah, it's just another idea that there's someone else doing this. That there is a body, mind, an organism. There's no such thing as any of those. What seems to be occurring is just it's like when you're dreaming at night. For example, you're dreaming at night and it seems really vivid. You're not going to say that, well, the brain, you know what I'm saying, was talking to another brain. It's just a dream. All of that is unreal that feels real. So let's just call it unreal real. But since it's unreal, although it feels real, there's nothing that you can do because it creates another separation, that there's a brain that's, that's happening this, or a mind or an ego. They're just thoughts. So the thought just creates another thought to maintain a thought that there's something wrong. So the thoughts will just keep on coming up with more thoughts that there's something missing. It will say that the brain is doing, keep on getting into catastrophe. The brain is doing all of that, but it's just what is. So when there is this seemingly seeing through that all of these thoughts are empty, seemingly that all of these apparent appearances are just transparently empty as well, that there's no one doing any of this, there's no brain that's gone rogue, you know what I'm saying, and doing all of this stuff. It's just what is. So rather than saying the brain or whatever, and again, this is just a suggestion, there's no one that's being suggested to, what if all of that is already what is, or paradise, or home, or emptiness, just being as it is?
Okay. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Sorry. Are you there, Katerina?
Yeah, sure. I'm
Yeah.
listening, of course.
Yeah, it's just simply as is, right? So when, let's just say that there's just this autonomous happening that simultaneously seems to be free. No one's doing any of it, but also not free, meaning that there's this kind of like, I prefer it to be this way or that way. So there's no choice in this, but there's choices that seems to appear. You know, there's a, I should have done that, I could have done that. There's just, but all of this seeming kind of like contradictions of what is are just thoughts about what is, are just ideas of this emptiness, are these ideas or opinions, seemingly was what seems to be acceptable and not acceptable.
Okay, I don't understand something.
Okay.
There is no me. However, it's something seems to be working and walking and talking and not knowing English, but not knowing Portuguese, for example.
Mhm.
So all this is functioning, whether it is apparent or not. Okay, it is
Yeah.
apparent, I guess, but it is
Okay.
still functioning. So this functioning,
But is it really
can
functioning?
change. It could, sorry?
Is it really
it
functioning
really-
aside from a thought that it's functioning?
Okay.
Is it really happening
Okay.
aside from a thought that it's happening? Is it really real aside from a thought that it's real? Is it really
Okay, that's
suffering aside from a
mind-blowing.
thought that it's suffering? Sorry, go ahead. I can
That's
keep on
very
going.
that's mind blowing. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Uh, okay. There is a big difference in what you're saying, the way that things are seen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, keep on coming back, Katerina, if you have more questions.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Betty. Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
No, I'm going to ask you a trick question that I asked
Okay.
a speaker yesterday.
Okay.
Okay.
But there are
You
no
and
other
I are
speakers.
sitting on the sofa, and we're looking out the window, and we both see, we're watching the squirrel, you know, and he has the nut, and he drops it, and then he just flies to the next tree.
Yeah.
And I turn and go, wow, you see that? And you go, yeah, that thing can fly. Uh-huh. What is that?
Every experiences, visually, appearances, hearing, ideas, thoughts, are just illusory because there's no experiencer. So everything that is seen, everything that is witnessed, everything that is known, everything that's processed, everything that is witnessed, right, is just an illusion.
Simultaneously.
Simultaneously, yeah.
Yeah, too. Yeah. Well, what he said was just no one there.
Yeah, an illusion. Yeah, there's no one there. It's an illusion.
Yeah, it's funny, huh? Really, because you think you're confirming with somebody else something.
Yeah.
Yeah, It's like almost like, how could the same illusion be merged into, but that's what it is. It's just the whole,
Yeah.
that was a bug. That was all. That was all. Yeah. Right?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
there's really no subject object. There's no really two separate witnesses. And to top it up, there's
Yeah.
not even a witness, right? So even your perception of kind of like, well, I see you looking at that too, is just another. There's simply no one all across the board. Everything is an illusion. There's no special kind of like, well, I'm witnessing something there. No, it's just everything
I'm
is
witnessing it, and I have another witness right there, and
Yeah.
both of them are just illusions. There's nobody here.
Yeah,
Nothing
exactly.
happening, and there's nobody here.
Exactly.
Love it. Thank you.
Thank you. David, please go ahead. Oh, sorry. I should put on glasses. I can't see. Oh, it's not that bad. Okay, no, I didn't. There was no hand up here. The video where you said, "Hey, buddy, you're in a Tesla," had me rolling in laughter. Yeah.
Emerson?
Hello. Hi.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Somebody said yesterday, I don't want to, it's unbelievable until it's undeniable.
It is because there's this is undeniable without a need for belief or non-belief. It does not need a witness. It does not need an observer. It's just this, right? It does not need a filter. It does not need anything at all. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you. There's a question here from Joy. Hi, Emerson. How is it that there's no good, no bad? Good or bad are just really words. They're just words. They're just ideas. They're just thoughts. If you look at a word, evil or good, they're just words. They're just made up of letters. And if you look at the letters, they're just basically a collection, a combination of, of one of 26 letters. It has phonetics, and that's what good or bad is. And that seems to be the idea of separation. For example, going back into the paradise theme, right? The idea of separation is trying to find knowledge bad, disobeying bad, that kind of thing. But only when there is a separate idea. So the idea of a gatekeeper or a supreme or a watcher is just bonkers, right? So I was having this discussion with another person, and I basically said, there's no one watching you. That's how free it is. There's no one witnessing this. That's how free it is. It's so free that there's no witness. It's just complete blindness. Hi, Becca. Hello.
Can you just talk a little bit more about that, please?
Yeah. For example,
You did it last week, and it just seemed to.
Yeah.
I don't know. Please,
it's funny because when there's this ingrained idea. Although there's no childhood or anything, there's this idea from a very child that, you better watch out, you better not pout. Santa Claus is coming to town. Basically good or bad, right? That there's someone taking a score.
When you said there's no one, what, like,
Yeah.
I've seen on other videos, you're like, there's no one looking behind those eyes, there's no one else.
Yeah.
And it always just, I don't know.
So there's always this idea that there is this awareness behind your eyes, that someone is aware, that it's seeing this, but there's no one there. There is this separation, this lens of separation called Becca, right? But if Becca, I'm saying, is if it's seen that Becca is just an illusion,
and it's seen that Becca is an illusion, it's the opposite side that's grasping me.
Yeah. So for example, and let's just say this, right? Becca is and although there's no head, Becca is just inside your head.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when it's seen that there's nothing inside your head because there's no Becca. So for example, if Becca, seemingly sees everything, all of this external stuff internally inside her head, but there's no Becca and there's no head. So when it's seen that there is really nothing behind and nothing beyond the lens. So it's all nothing. So there's this contact lens called Becca that sees separation, seemingly, right? That sees this kind of like time and space, movement and everything. But when that contact lens falls off, you're like,
yeah, it's more judgment. I've got a thing with judgment, and I can resonate so much, but then when other people are around, it's like, they're judging me. Like, I completely resonate with it, but then when I've got
but there's no one around.
So that's what I want you to go into.
So okay, let's just, I like this. I like this question. So there's this experience that seemingly is happening. And the experiences kind of like, judgment, experiences, wrong or right, experiences, happiness, sadness, and everything.
And then I feel like, sorry to interrupt, I feel like, like I resonate, but they don't, so they're still going to judge me.
Yeah, like, so you're experiencing, that's just another experience. So, but what if the whole experience, meaning that the experience is Becca, is an illusion. So every experience is an illusion, but Becca is the experience, which is an illusion. So everything that Becca experiences is an illusion. Everything that Becca sees, feels, whatever, is an experience of Becca as an illusion. There's no Becca, basically. So everything there's no one watching Becca. There's no one thinking about Becca. There's no one seeing Becca.
Yeah, because when you said in the past, no one's ever thought about you and you've never thought about anybody else.
Because all thoughts are an experience of Becca, and Becca is just an experience. It's an illusion.
You're sat there saying this now, and there's so many people on this Zoom.
Yeah.
Is it just all... What I'm trying to say is, you could be speaking to any single one of them people that are on this Zoom. Is it all just an illusion? Like the whole
everything is actually, and this is just a funny thing to see. Everything is inside your head.
All right.
And there's no you that has a head.
I keep looking at these people's pictures on here and thinking,
it's all inside your head. It's all an illusion.
David, Natalie.
Oh yeah. Laura, it's like when
they're all sat there with the same thing.
Yeah. It's like when you're dreaming at night, when you're having a vivid dream at night, it feels absolutely fucking real, right? It feels like, that there's Betty, there's Alexander, there's Catherine, there's Sabby. But the moment that you wake up from that dream, were they really there?
Fuck off.
Did it really happen?
No.
This is exactly the same thing. There's no time, right? There's this idea that Becca woke up this morning, but the dream seemingly continued in this apparent moment. Everything all at once, remember? This is still a dream.
Right. Go. Thank you.
Thank you. Jane. Hello. I can't hear you, Jane.
Oh, hi, Emerson.
Hi.
So there's no gradually to recognize this.
No.
Right? There's no stage.
No such thing.
Yeah, because
In the dream, it might appear, right? It might appear that it's like, there's a dream but it's still a dream. The gradualness, right?
yeah, because I used to want to ask you what happened before your DJ event.
It didn't matter, really.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
It
It's
doesn't
because
matter, yeah.
even I ask now, it's just it still happened. It's
only
so,
this, yeah.
Yeah.
It's only this, yeah. It's like there is it's like someone took a nap, although there's no one that took a nap, right? And then there's this dream that there was this Emerson. But the one that took a nap is paradise or home. So paradise is dreaming of a separate individual named Emerson. So when it sees that there's never Emerson, it sees paradise in everything. That's paradise. That's paradise. That's paradise. That's paradise. This is paradise. Everywhere is paradise.
So for people like who haven't recognized this, it's just still in the dream.
Well, there's no one that has recognized this.
Or it's kind of like a fact. There's no people here.
Yeah. Okay, so there's almost like a trance that there's this kind of like almost like a deception that you think that you're not getting this.
Right.
Yeah. There's this delusion that you are separate. But all of that delusion, all of that, that feeling or that thought only appears in thoughts, doesn't it? In the absence of thoughts, there's nothing wrong or right for that matter. So you're chasing thoughts about the liberation of thoughts in thoughts. So you're looking for answers in words that's being expressed, it's like gradual or everything. So if the words were all collapsed, there's no separation. It's already seen that there's no separation, but the words get in the way. The ideas seem to clutter what is already obvious. There's no kind of like what was mentioned earlier. Seemingly, it's unbelievable because there's an idea that this happened or did this happen, which is kind of like, it's neither believable or unbelievable. It's undeniable. So without the belief or no belief, which is just another belief, it's already undeniable. So the belief, which is just a thought, which is just an idea, which is just made up, is trying to make up what is undeniable into something that it can picture. It tries to grasp something that is boundless. This. So what's being expressed here is that what this is already what that is. But there's no this and that. It's only this. It's only infinitely this. And then words kind of like will say that, well, how did you get there? How did you get that? How did you get this? But there's no you and I. It's just this. So in this appearance, right? In this, I don't know what to call this. In this mystery, in this obviousness, right? the moment that there is an idea of what this is, it creates this delusion that someone has got it and someone does not have it. And the root of that seeming idea is that there is separation. So whatever is here is also there, but there's no here and there. Whatever is seen is also seen, but there's no one seeing. So what is already complete is complete also. What's already liberation is already liberation. There's just a filtering of words and thinking that there is an obstruction of what is already obviously free. This is already not hidden. This paradise without any mythology, without any kind of definition, is already here. It's already, it's talking to itself.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Oh, thank you so much. What was said, someone said Emerson is in fine form. Thank you. Can you explain that there is no head? It's just another word. It's funny, there's a lot of, and again, there's nothing wrong or right about it. There's a lot of seemingly clear, expressors of this that seemingly get stuck in the idea of a brain or an organism or body, mind, or ego, or all that kind of stuff like that. Seemingly there is a separateness. But when it's seen that everything is obviously, undeniably made up, a word, when it's transparently seen as the obviously, it's just another seeming kind of like a contradiction, right? That there's nothing separate, but the brain thinks that it is. Why don't you just say that it's just simply as it is? There's nothing wrong or right about that. It's just what is. It's just a simplification of something that cannot really be fully expressed. So it seems to have a jumping point, so to speak. There's neither a brain or there's not a brain. It's just what is. It's not something that is, everything is made up. So trying to nitpick on things that are made up, on things that are just words, on things that are just no things, to try to get to something, to try to get into an understanding, it's just really a circling. It's like basically vultures circling around a dead carcass. There's nothing to pick on. It's dead. All words are dead. They're meaningless, completely meaningless. Even the word paradise is meaningless. The moment that there is an understanding, the moment that there's a grasping, the moment that there's a moment, there are no moments, there are no words. Seemingly, these moments are appearing in words, but this is the infinite, seemingly being obscured by words that's appearing in time. What do you mean there's no witness? There's, again, this seems to be a popular topic today. There is always this idea of a gatekeeper, of a supreme or a creator or a source or an obscured reality that you are not seeing. there is this seeming kind of like unity that has to happen. There's nothing to unite. There's no such thing as unity because it's already completely as it is. There's no witness that will witness itself. There's no realization, so to speak. There's no being aware of something that was not aware of before. Everything is already as it is. It's already seen and unseen simultaneously. There's no witnessing because there is a suggestion that there's another. It makes one thing real and the other one unreal, when simultaneously unreal and real are the same. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you. I like the way that you talk about not having a blank screen or a projector. Yeah, because there seems to be this idea, you know, and again, it's a really tricky thing, especially with teachings about awareness, right? Because they will say that there's a blank screen and there's moving images, and the moving images are not you, but you're the blank screen. But there's no you to be a blank screen or a moving image. There's no projector that's projecting into a blank screen. It's a nice try to express that everything is complete, but there's also this idea, I guess it comes from this idea that there was something wrong in the first place, that there's a creator or a source that's being missed. This is already paradise. It does not need to be hidden under a blank screen or whatever. It is without any ideas, without any concepts, without any understanding. It's the peace, again, that's undeniable. It's a freedom that you cannot picture. What is being expressed is that this is paradise and you will never see it coming, because there'll be no you to see it coming, because there's no you in the first place. I was talking to someone a couple of days ago and we were having this conversation. I'm not sure who it was. We were saying that. I'm like, well, it's kind of like, you know, getting the ultimate wish from a genie. But the genie is saying that I can grant you the wish, but you will not be there to receive it. That's what's being expressed.
Oh, that's
here.
so good.
Thank you.
I was thinking that same thing, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the ultimate prize, but you will not be there to claim it.
Yeah. It's a small print. Oh, by the way. Oh man.
We can only grant you one wish, you know, the genie says, right? You know, and you're like, so you spend your entire life looking for this genie, and all of a sudden a genie appears. Your wish is my command, but only one ultimate wish. So the seeker goes, I wish for enlightenment. Oh, I can give that, but you will not be there to receive it.
Yeah, but Emerson, most people don't want to be here, so it's a good thing.
Yeah, it's true too.
If you ask most people, they do not want to be here.
That's true. But again, they want not to be here to witness not to be here.
Oh no, I don't care. I'm just saying most people, they do not want to be here.
It's true. True.
Yeah.
True.
Sorry.
That's true. That's true. It's like looking for peace for not being, but not being able to collect the price.
Who cares?
Yeah. Thank you. I didn't know that you were here, Casey.
Dude, I don't know either.
Good.
Hey, Emerson.
Oh, hi.
You know,
Is it
and
Natalie?
the freedom. Yeah, it's me again. Just the freedom that this is just it, and no one has a choice whether they want to be here or not. You know, there's just, it's like a choice that isn't, you know.
Oh, totally, totally. It's this, it's so free that there's no choosing happening. That's how free it is. Because if there's choosing happening to be here or not to be here, then that's an idea of what freedom is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome. I was just gonna also say, like, it's also like, when you think you've chosen to go right or left, you know, and it's like, well, you went right. I mean, that's just what it is. Like, you never had a choice. You were always going to choose that, possibly. I mean, if it is, if that's what happened, then that's what it is. And, you know, if you turn right and you hit a garbage dump and you think, oh, I should have went left because there's an ice cream store over there, then, you know, that's when there's no choice in that either. But a mind might say, oh, I should have did this, you know? So.
Totally. It's just this inexplicable, unknowable, right? It's just this mystery, right? And the moment that you try to solve it, and then it creates this illusion that, you know, that it's not freedom. It's this mysterious freedom that tries to be solved. And like, what is this freedom? Why is this, you know, how do I get this freedom? It's so free that it's so free that it's free to ask those questions. It's free to think that it's not free. It's so free that it appears as not free even. That's how free it is.
Yeah, I love it.
Thank you. My next tattoo is life's a game. But there's no players. Game on. Question here. Oh, another question. Hey, I'm so glad that you have not changed the way that you communicate from the very beginning. It gives me a lot of relief that, you know, when you wrote that in your letter, yeah, there's no one choosing to do anything. And this is not really an opinion. This is not really a belief system. This is not something that was recognized. This is something that got figured out. This is something that's not held on to. This is not something at all. So what's being expressed here is this deconstructed, this. Although this cannot be deconstructed, it's just basically speaking on what's already obvious and what's already clear and what's already undeniable. Not as an idea, not as a concept, not as a belief system, not as jumping on the bandwagon of something that is already clear. There's joy and there's passion in speaking about something that is impossible to talk about. And there's also an obviousness that there's no one choosing to do any of this. There's no one choosing to talk about the absurdity that no one's talking. to express that this cannot be expressed, to laugh at the madness of trying to, express that there's nothing that needs to be figured out. And at the same time, there's this audience, although there's no audience, that's trying to figure it out. So there's just this aliveness, for lack of a better word, in the death of everything. Aliveness in the futility of seeking. This freedom that is expressing, that cannot really capture this boundlessness. So this amazing, meetings that happens every weekly is so wow. It's just so impossible to talk about something. And it's nothing serious at all. There's no position being held on to. There's no attachment to the speaking even, but yet somehow there's this laughter, or trying to speak when I lost my voice. There's this, I'm kind of like chewing a lot of Benticils here. And there's just this love for no reason. And there's also this gladness in seeing that it's looking at paradise. All of these apparent boxes is paradise. They pretend they're not. They pretend that there is this, there's this confusion of what is not, but it's already done. It's already complete. It's already finished. It cannot be muted. It cannot be, it's already this. And what this is, for lack of a better term, is the paradise that you think that you have lost. But there's no you, so nothing was lost. It's just what is. And it's so wow. Yes, for a lack of a better term, it's just wow. So there might not be any more Fridays. It depends on Casey and a whole bunch of people, maybe Nikki or a lot of people that wants to do Friday. It's going to be Sundays starting next week, or Saturdays. We'll see. Apparently there's a lot of Sundays, but are there really any other speakers? There's just this thank you, and that there's this passion to continue speaking, even when it's impossible, even when it does not make sense. This does not make sense, even when it's not sustainable.
You've got to.
Yeah, I'm going to do. Yeah. Yeah. So Saturday or Sunday, I'll send another email. And you know what? It's funny because sorry about the introduction, because I just had too many kind of like, it's like I enjoy the longer meetings. What's that?
I said you become like my new little best friend.
Oh, likewise. Saturday has Izzy, Rose, and Kenneth as well. So Gosh, you're like, yeah, you know what? It's just this. So thank you so much, everyone. Is it? Yeah, thank you so much, everyone. I'll see you next Sunday. If you're not able to come in on Fridays, we'll figure something out. Again, just like what was expressed, there is just this love for no reason at all for doing this impossible talks about the unspeakable. So thank you so much, everyone. There's a breakout room. I'll see you guys next Sunday or Saturday. Yeah, we'll work it out. Although there's nothing to work out. Bye.
Thank you, Emerson.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Emerson.
Thank you so much, everyone.